And you're going to join us just for a couple of races, and perhaps you can chat with myself and Rebby as we go through the C1 women over 500 meters, and also we'll be looking, and then after that the K2 500, both women and men. So we just got the line up there of who we're expecting to see in the C1 women 500 meter final A. We'll just take you through that in just a moment. Just very briefly, Bridget, what have you enjoyed watching this weekend so far?
So I'm actually quite a fan, obviously, of the women's races, but there's quite a few of the men's K4s that, especially I suppose the 500 meter, which is now the Olympic distance, that is really enjoyable. And I think this weekend the K2 men has become, 500 has become one of the most popular events. I haven't seen so many K2 men on a start line ever, so yeah. I think we're up for an exciting race just now.
Yeah, K2 men's desperately competitive. I mean, we saw the likes of Josef Dostal was in the C final, so it just shows how competitive it is.
Yeah. I watched his race. It did look like the end of their semi wasn't the best.
Right.
But yeah, this is top racing.
That's the way it goes. It's competitive at this level, isn't it? Right, so we'll see the C1 women 500 meters. There they are lining up. We've got Sloane Mackenzie from Canada in 1. Julia Osend also from Canada in 2. Wan Yin from China in 3. Lisa Jahn, the German, goes in lane 4. Liudmyla Luzan, who we were just talking about, actually, she's in lane 5. She's had a busy weekend competing in the 1000 and the C2 and also the C1 this race over 500. Maria Olarasu, the Moldovan, goes in 6. Katarzyna Szperkiewicz from Poland in 7. Claudia Couto from Spain in 8. Britain's Katie Reid, who went to the Olympic Games, didn't quite make the final there, but she's in the final here, and she goes in lane 9. So 500 meters could again see some perhaps different race plans here, but not as much room for manoeuvre, Rebby, in the 500 meters as there would be in the 1000.
Yeah, but I still think because most of these girls will be coming from the 200, they're having quite a lot of different ways to attack this race. So we'll still see a bit of differences.
Yeah, and there's that distinctive style, isn't there, of Liudmyla Luzan. Really locks on with straight arms at the front of that blade. A really long, almost sometimes looks labouring stroke, but she's incredibly strong, isn't she, the right-hander, and going well at the moment. And perhaps she's worked on endurance because she did so well in the 1000-metre race, and now she's right up there in the 500, but working extremely hard as we get to the halfway point. You can see Lisa Jahn, the German, in lane 4, going well and really looks dynamic on that stroke.
This is always the important part of a 500-meter race. Rebby will agree.
Yeah, for sure.
If you can hold it together, yeah, and have a strong finish, then it's always good in the 500 meters. It's super tough. Everything hurts, and it's encouraging to see how many girls are racing the 500 from different countries now too in the C1.
Yeah, indeed it is. You know, it's just got more and more competitive. We were talking about the days of when Lauren Vincent Lepointe was just dominating, and that doesn't happen now, and that's really good for the sport and the development. And you know, well done to the ICF for getting this in the Olympic program, which has driven the development of this sport. And we can see there, well,
quite a race coming up now.
Well, yeah, I was just about to say, we could just about see, but there's really two paddlers here. We've got
Germany
Liudmyla
and
Luzan.
the Ukraine. Race for the line.
It's going to be on the lunge for the line now. Luzan's going to perhaps just get it ahead of the German, but goodness me, they're quite a long way ahead.
And Poland in 3rd.
So there we go. So Ukraine, Liudmyla Luzan, a popular winner as she always is, but particularly now given what's happened to Ukraine, just ahead of the German. But as you spotted, Bridget, a really, really tense final few strokes.
Yeah, that just shows it's not over till it's over. She pulled through in the last 10, 20 meters.
She did pull through well, and obviously her endurance work is going well. We've seen Liudmyla Luzan. I've always thought she's very impressive over the 200 metre distance, but having won the C1000 yesterday and now the C1 500, it must show that her endurance is right up there. So, very different is in technique as well. You look at the two paddlers alongside each other, really choppy short stroke of Lisa Jahn and that longer stroke, sort of more drawn out from Liudmyla Luzan. She made it work for her really well, getting a really good leg drive. Look at it, putting the pressure on that front leg, locking on to that stroke. Here we go. Last few strokes.
Stroke for stroke until the last bit.
It's just pulled away, didn't she? Just over the last couple of strokes there. Liudmyla Luzan, and then a bit of a battle, a separate battle for third place, and it was the Polish Katarzyna Szperkiewicz who took the bronze. Just see what it means to Liudmyla Luzan, and she doesn't speak English, but when she was interviewed yesterday, you could tell by her expression and the look on her face just what it meant to her, and she's with us again now.
Liudmyla, that's 2 wins. That was close though. How do you feel?
Я дуже щаслива, це моє друге золото на цьому етапі Кубку світу. Я присвячую його знову Україні. І це вкотре доказує, що ми найсильніша нація. І ми скоро переможемо саму головну війну, яка коїться в нас на землі. Слава Україні!
Спасибо.
So, I mean, again, she doesn't speak English, but I think we could really take the sense of what she was saying, what it means to her. I mean, I dread to think what it's been like for the last few months for all these Ukrainian paddlers, for all the Ukrainian people, in fact. And it's just wonderful to see her get a win. She will be popular when she receives her medal a little bit later. 2:08 for her, 2:08 for Lisa Jahn, just over half a second behind.